Hello guys, welcome to the Teh Tarik Show. I am Gurpreet and I'll be the host for this episode of the Teh Tarik Show. As usual, we have our crew members. Let's start up with Avinash.
What's
Hello
up,
Avi.
gang?
Sup. Next up we
Damn.
have Aisha.
Oh, hi.
And last but not least, we have Edwin.
Hi guys.
Sup guys. Alright. So today's topic is a very interesting topic and it's very dear to our heart and our brains. Right? So today's topic is a college degree really necessary? Okay,
Mm,
so I'll ask Avi to define the topic today. Go, Avi.
Um, all right, sure. So, the topic for today is a college degree necessary for a job, right?
Oh, just in general, is it necessary?
Or is it necessary?
Oh.
All right. So, first of all, a college degree is basically a certificate awarded to anyone who has successfully completed a particular study in a course or any discipline of choice in a span of, I think, what, three to 7 years maximum. So
Mm.
that's basically what a degree is. And in current, like, maybe I would say the status quo at the moment is that college degrees are, I would say, a way that people use to enter the job market. Yeah,
mm,
so that would be the current status quo of why basically a bachelor's degree is necessary. So yeah, I think that would be it for the topic. It's a pretty simple one. I'm pretty excited to tackle it.
Okay, thank you for defining. I think that's a very good definition of it. So I think we'll move on to the first question. Okay, we are all currently pursuing our degree, right? Right,
yeah.
the
Yes.
same course, electrical engineering. Okay, so I'm gonna ask a very easy question. Is the years of struggle and student loan for a degree worth it? Okay, we start with Edwin. What do you think about
Alright.
it?
So are you talking about our degree or any degree in
Any
general?
degree, any degree in general,
So
based on
okay,
your own personal experience.
okay. So I'll start off talking about the student loans first, then I'll move on to the actual degree.
Okay.
So in my personal opinion, if you take a course with a blurry work field, such as like you don't really know what job you can land with at certain degree, and
Mm,
you apply a student loan, take student loans out, I don't think it's a really good idea as compared to taking student loans out to take a medical degree and have a chance to become a doctor. If
Okay.
you
How
take
about how about the course you're taking right now, engineering? Do you think it's worth
as
it?
if I were to take a student loan and apply for this major, I would think it's worth it, as
mm,
the prospects for this degree is much greater as compared to other non-engineering majors, excluding medical fields.
mm.
Okay. And then how about the struggles? Engineering is not easy. We all know that.
Um, I know it's not easy. Engineering is difficult. There are some sleepless nights, and we study basically 24/7, 7 days a week until
Mm.
our semester ends.
Yeah.
But with this major, with the broad prospects of our jobs, I feel like the late nights or some 24 hour all nighters is worth it
Mm.
as the job prospects, and the pay in the end will pay off our student loans if we have one.
If you have one. Okay. So in simple terms, you're saying it's worth it, right?
Yes.
Okay. How about you, Aisha?
Well, it better be worth it. Personally, I kind of agree with what Edwin said. If it's like a very, if you're taking a degree in which there's not much marketability for that degree after you finish, then I don't really think it's that worth it. I think better maybe you go freelance or take up a business or something like that, right?
Mhm.
Personally, for engineering, what I'm taking right now, it is quite worth it because we're entering an era of where there's just more jobs right now in terms of our degree, electrical engineer or just engineering in general. So yeah, and yes, we struggle a lot, but I think by the end of my fourth year, getting a job would be just so satisfying, just a sense of relief.
Okay,
Yeah.
that is if you get a job, right?
I hope I
True.
see. I hope I get a job.
Alright,
McDonald's Bangi is waiting for us.
so you're saying it's worth it also.
Yes, yes.
Okay. How about you, Avi? Let's hear what Avi has to say about this.
Oh God. Okay, to be very honest, right? This is my personal opinion, and I think it might be true in the next coming 3, 4, or 5 years. Many college degrees are actually becoming, I would actually want to say outdated, but it's not exactly outdated because knowledge is something that we, as a human race, right? We actually build knowledge over time. So if you imagine like us building a building, right? Our knowledge of whatever we know around our surrounding gets built over time, over time, over time, over time. But the thing is, because I'm just talking, it's a very general thing, lah. I'm not going into talking like what Edwin said, like doctors, engineers. Those are specific fields. Those are very specific. But if you do a random course, right? Like you do what marine biology. So um, in that sense, if you took a marine biology course, not to judge anyone here, right? Not to offend anyone, but
Careful, Avi.
not to offend anyone. But the thing is, something that I feel is when you take courses like that, the only thing that you might be able to relate to your course is actually becoming a researcher to contribute to knowledge in that field.
Mhm.
So, whether or not something actually matters to our current society, because there's a lot of pressing issues like going on, like I would say global, like global warming and climate change and all stuff like that. Yeah, we do need science field majors in that kind of sense to actually contribute and give back. But something that I feel our education system is not doing, or I mean the college degree system, it's actually teaching us things that has been taught for wait, how long has this degree system been? Yeah, so for as long as that, I'm pretty sure whatever we are learning has not changed one bit. Like I think we can still get past year papers from what 19 something in the UKM library site, and the things would have not changed at all because that is what they've been teaching from day one till now.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
in a sense, that is it worth it? As like I want to talk more on a more generational scope, right? Is it worth it for our generation?
Mhm.
I honestly feel it's not because we are not actually contributing to a lot of fields that actually matter. There are certain degrees that focus on things that matter. There's things that still need to keep society going, but there are a lot of other different things that we have not been able to tackle. But like climate change, and one of the people who actually predicted that we would not be able to face a pandemic, right? One of the people that
Mhm.
predicted this thing might happen was Bill Gates. We never had anyone to, like, the only person who could think to that level 5 years ago. If you go to YouTube, you search the Bill Gates TED Talk,
Yeah.
he actually
Okay.
said that we would not be ready for
Credible.
a pandemic, right? And that is true. 5 years later, in 2020, we are suffering. We are still suffering,
Mhm.
and uh, I don't think any college degree prepared us to face real world problems. They
Yeah,
have
yeah.
been preparing us for the jobs of yesterday, not for the jobs that we will actually have to do in the future. Because
Yeah.
if let's say, just imagine if our sea levels rise, right? This
Mhm.
is just one example of many other things or many other issues in our entire world. If let's say, just example, if the sea level rises, I'm probably Malaysia would be submerged. UCAM would be no more. Most probably, we would be fighting each other for food, or we'll probably be dead. Yeah, in that sense, our college degree is never going to prepare us for things on an extreme level. Like, I'm pretty sure no one was prepared to face the pandemic. We had to adapt. But some things that we can actually prepare forward. Like Bill Gates said, we could have prepared, but we did not because there was not enough awareness, and we are doing
Yeah.
things the same way we've been doing what for the past 40, 50, 60, a century ago. I think that would be basically,
Mm.
is it important or not, lah?
Yeah.
Okay, so you're saying it's not worth it.
I,
Is it
I'm
true?
saying it's not worth it in a sense that we still can get jobs, but
Mm-hmm.
for the jobs that we might have to face in the future,
Mm-hmm.
it will not actually prepare us for that. It's preparing us for the things that we might need to do a century ago, not for what are the things that we might face out. Because the
Mm.
workforce currently and the workforce how it was a long time ago, it's very different. Like I'm pretty sure, G, you work in a bookstore, you know.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure 5 years ago, if you were in a bookstore, I don't think you would be on Shopee thinking on how to market your products and all that.
Yeah,
So that's
true,
the thing.
true,
You
true.
learn that things, and the skill
Yeah.
set will change according to time. So, in a sense, that it's not going to prepare us for the future. It's actually preparing us for whatever we will face. So I'm pretty sure we might not even design any amplifiers with a BJT anymore. There's going to be some new technology coming. For the listeners, BJT is kind of a
Just
transistor circuit.
electrical things.
Yeah, it's
Okay,
electrical. Yeah.
so if you're it's your personal opinion, okay? Do you think the degree that you are doing right now is it worth it for yourself?
To be very honest, the only reason I'm doing this degree, I hope my parents don't see this, is because I was genuinely curious on how electronics work. But for me, I never had any plans to work in this field, to be very honest. So is it worth it or is it not? To be honest, it's just that I just enjoy learning about electronics from a very young age. It is something that I like to do. It's
Mm.
just that the way that my lecturers bring our lessons are so boring. I have no
Avi.
idea what to say anymore. And okay, that I'm actually being honest. Some of the lecturers are very boring.
We appreciate your honesty,
Okay.
Avi.
So you're saying it's kind of worth it and kind of not worth it also.
Hopefully worth
Yep.
it.
50-50
Hopefully
on
worth
that.
it, but I'm pretty sure
Hope,
no.
hopefully worth it, but pretty sure no. Okay. All right. Okay, so we are already talking about jobs, right? Have you already touched the topic on jobs and everything? So I have next. I'll ask the next question. Does having a degree really lead to a better job security and satisfaction? Okay, so Avi has a lot to say about the job satisfaction and all that. So I'll start with Avi.
Oh, oh Lord.
Okay, well, job satisfaction, right? Okay,
Job
uh,
security and satisfaction, both.
job security and job satisfaction. So there's two
Yep.
things that you gotta tackle.
Yep.
So job security. Job security. Yes, a college degree will guarantee you a secure job in Malaysia. Yes, but in the United States, I'm pretty sure everyone knows that Google, Facebook,
Mm.
and most of the Silicon Valley companies, they are hiring people who do not have college education, who I'm pretty sure can only do work in a particular field. But that actually, I wouldn't say it begs the question. It's more of, how would I put it? Like, we cannot compare that skill to what we're facing at the moment, because Malaysia compared to other countries are not as what's the word? As developed, I would say. Yeah,
Yep.
we don't have something like Silicon Valley in Malaysia where we
We're
need
waiting for Avi to create one.
yeah. Hopefully, yeah. All right. So the thing is, that argument, I would actually, if anyone brings up that kind of argument, honestly, I would say that in Malaysia, a college degree is still necessary to actually, to guarantee you a job. But if, let's say, you look back at the definition of what is a job, it is just something that you do to, pass your time. Not to say pass your time, like,
Not
pass your time, put food on
more
the
like
table.
more
It's
like
something
a
Yeah.
like that.
living.
Yeah.
So if you look at a job, right?
Yeah.
If, let's say, you were jobless, what would you do? I'm pretty sure a lot of people would go crazy. Even the beggar on the street has a job, which is begging.
Begging.
That is something that he does, even though, I mean, I'm not here to debate about the morals of it, but that's what he does to actually fill his time on a daily basis. So it is something to give him some level of excitement, or whether he enjoys it or that's out of the question. But yeah, it is just that something that we do to fill in our time to to get through this phase that we call life and eventually die off one day.
Okay.
So in terms of job security in Malaysia, yes, a college degree is necessary, but I think once we develop a little bit more, I think it would become irrelevant.
Mm.
So you're saying
And
you don't need a degree to get a proper job
if
in a
you
few
if you're talking
years.
about the employment sector, we in the employment sector we do need a degree, but maybe because, as I earlier defined, right, job can be anything that you do.
So
Yeah.
freelance.
Yeah, even the freelance is a job. I don't think you need. So I picked up photography and videography
Mhm.
entirely during the MCO in basically learning everything I know from YouTube, and yeah, people do call me out for jobs. It's kind of what it is. It's how our entire system is already evolved. So if you look it from that perspective, it's a bit different. But if you're talking about the job market, yeah, a lot of employers still look at college degrees because there are certain things college degrees does well. It would create a good employer, to be very honest.
Okay,
Mm.
We
so let's say you land a engineering job, okay, as an electronic engineer,
slow, please.
and okay, would you be would you be satisfied with the job?
Well, in terms of job satisfaction, right? There is a lot of elements that determine um, job satisfaction.
Mhm.
And I think one of the biggest things wouldn't be only your degree. Okay, maybe we can I can tackle it in two different ways. If it is your dream job and you get it, that's one thing. That if let's say you're satisfied with that, that's one thing.
Mm.
But the term of satisfaction, right? Okay, so let me ask you this. What do you think it means by satisfaction? And can you be ever satisfied?
True.
I don't think we'll ever be satisfied. That's
Yeah,
how
true.
human
So
nature is.
that's how human nature is. So if you imagine us in a box, and I put Edwin in the box today,
Okay.
tomorrow, I mean today he'll be happy. Tomorrow he will actually, he will actually be sad. Maybe I wish my box was a little bigger. So
Mm.
the next day I give you a bigger box to live in. Not a box like a cubicle lah.
Yes, yes,
So
you get your
so
concept.
Put him in a
yeah.
box.
So give you a bigger cubicle, and then you feel, oh, this is nice for that day. The next day you might be like, maybe I wish it was a little bigger. So in terms of satisfaction, there's a lot of things that lead to your satisfaction doing something, which is either be your job or your studies and all that, especially with your environment. So there is this one. I wouldn't say a story. I like this kind of concept of satisfaction,
Mhm.
where so this guy, I can't remember which hotel he went to. So we went he went up to the barista in the coffee, this one. And apparently this guy had an amazing conversation with the barista. Like he had the best time buying, a simple cup of coffee. So when this guy asked asked the barista for asked him this question: are you satisfied with your job? So the thing that the barista, I mean, of course he said yes. He's working in one of the biggest hotels in, I think, Las Vegas or something like that. I can't remember. It's a high end place. He's working in one of the biggest hotels, even though it's just a simple barista. But the reason being why is he satisfied with his job is because he says that it's actually more of my managers. Like he says that his managers come and check up on him. How are you? Instead of asking how many customers have you served. So that could be a different factor.
Okay,
So
so
the
work
same person,
environment.
yeah, it depends on the environment also. So job satisfaction is questionable, but if you're talking about job security in an underdeveloped country, I would say yes.
Okay.
It will create some level of security, but not to the level we think it's 100% secure. I'm pretty sure COVID taught us that lesson. Lah.
Okay, so around 70 or 60. Okay.
You want a number?
Rough
uh,
estimate.
I would say 60.
Okay, so
Mm.
60% on job security and not sure on job
Questionable
satisfaction.
satisfaction.
Questionable, okay? Okay.
Depends on work
So,
environment.
all right. How about Asia? What do you
Oh,
think?
does having a degree really lead to better job security? Yeah, I believe so. I think that after you graduate, about like 70%, I agree with Abby, about like 70% security, because a degree does put you ahead of example, you have been accepted for an interview in a company, and over there are also people who don't have degrees or something like that, right? Or have different kind of degrees, different kind of education levels. So I feel like having a degree does put you ahead of them, because that's what employers usually want. They they want someone with that kind of level. It does put you ahead. Does it guarantee you the job? That totally depends on the individual itself.
Very
So
true.
that's what I believe. Job security in terms of degrees, they put you ahead of other people, but in order to get the job, it wholly depends on the individual itself.
Okay, so
And
job satisfaction?
Job satisfaction. Um, Personally, if I were to get a job as an electronics engineer or something in engineering that I want, I would be satisfied. That's what I've been studying for. That's what I've been working for 4 years just to get that certified piece of paper,
But
landing a
usually,
job.
what we study and what we are working is not the same. So it's a different
Yeah,
experience.
but yeah, true. But still, what we study, I feel like us studying right now, it's the basics of what we are going to use in when we are working. I feel like I kind of like wholeheartedly agree with Avi. I would be satisfied just landing that job, but maybe after a few weeks or a few months, I'll be like, hmm, maybe I want a better position,
Maybe they ask you to
or
design an
yeah.
amplifier, so you
Ah,
start
yes,
questioning.
yes. I want to design another amplifier. I don't want to use this component like that. Yeah, I think it's short-lived satisfaction. So
Short
yeah,
explanation. Okay,
yeah,
so that's your answer to the
yeah. That is
question.
that.
All right. How about you, Edwin?
If a bachelor's degree would guarantee you a job position,
Yeah,
Mm,
job security and job satisfaction.
so I feel like it first depends on what type of bachelor's degree you hold. You can't have a random bachelor's degree and apply for a really good company and expecting them to accept you. Like you can't
yeah,
have an electronics degree and apply to a medical company to
yeah.
get and you'll land that job. But in terms of if you're studying the degree of electronics and you apply to an electrical like company with a company that's in the related field, there's a higher chance for you to actually land that job as compared to someone that's not within the related field.
Yeah.
So right now we're taking electronics degree. There is programming and there's mathematics, so
Mm.
we in the future when we apply for jobs, we could either apply for like computer science jobs. We could become a what's it called a programmer. You could
Software
be a data
engineer.
scientist. You could
Mm,
be a software engineer. But the same can't be said for a civil engineer. They might not have the same qualifications like what they learned in their course as
Mm.
what we're learning.
mm.
So I feel like a degree is necessary to land
Don't you think
the
like
right
programming?
job.
Don't you think we can learn programming without the degree?
We
It's
could,
like,
but there are like certain aspects like for example machine learning or neural networks.
mhm.
Y- if you do not take a degree in where you are forced to learn the certain topics, there's a high chance you'll give up after the first video you watch because you'd absolutely not understand what he or she is talking about.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So how about job satisfaction?
So for
Let's say you land a job as an electronic engineer, and how do you think that will, for you personally, how is it satisfying or not?
um I get. I guess it varies from person to person, but I agree with Avi said about putting me into a box. I
Cubicle,
will
Cubicle.
cubicle,
never
Cubicle.
cubicle my
not a
bad.
box.
I will never be satisfied because I would always want to earn more.
Yeah.
So maybe the first day I
Okay.
land my job,
We don't talk about the pay.
oh
Let's
money.
just talk about your satisfaction on your personal level. Like, do you enjoy working there?
Um, if in terms of I enjoy working there, I guess if I applied for that company and I land the job, I would be satisfied.
Mm,
Satisfied.
So
Okay.
So if I apply to that company and got accepted and the
Mhm.
environment is all right, then I'd be satisfied.
Okay. So you're saying both job security and job satisfaction is guaranteed if you have a degree.
Not for job security is not guaranteed, but
Okay.
it's a higher percentage.
Higher chance of a
yes.
job
It's all
security.
like not
Yeah.
100%.
80%.
It's debated. It's debatable.
Okay.
It's debatable.
Okay.
We should
Asia is
ask
saying
them.
80%. Avi is saying 60. How about you, Edwin?
I'd
70 in the middle?
say depends on the job you land and how what's your CGPA and your other
Now
qualifications.
let's get the number on it.
I mean, if you're active and you have a good degree and you know the right people, then I guess it's an 80,
80,
90.
90. Okay.
Wow.
Mm,
Wow.
Especially
That's
All right, G, calculate the average.
It's very positive.
Give me a score.
Let's
Don't forget
go.
nepotism. We are still living in a world.
Okay, I'm not doing maths right now, so I'll just say it's around 75%. Okay.
70 plus 80 plus 90, 75.
Okay. So I'll move on to the next question. Okay. Do you consider someone without a degree a successful person? Okay. Let's start with Asia this time.
Ooh. Oh,
Okay, so I repeat the
that's
question.
a
Like,
very that's a controversial.
do you consider someone without a degree as a successful person?
What? How do you define success? That's one
Yes,
thing.
yes.
In
Yeah,
terms of fame,
being successful, is it like in terms of how much you earn, or is it like
Okay,
how
what do you
happy
think?
you
What do
are?
you think? Do you think successful means to you? Is it like a
I
very
feel
big
like
salary,
yeah,
or
I
you're happy
feel
with the
like
job?
being successful is you reaching a goal that you've wanted for a while. And that's the one thing that just like your goal, you reaching that goal, that's already you being successful. I don't think having a degree like makes you successful in general. I think that people without a degree can also be as successful. They can take businesses, or they can do like they can reach a goal that they've wanted to reach like for a decade. So it's very like a general yet controversial question, but I don't agree that only people who have degrees are successful.
Okay,
I
let's
think that
say
not having a degree, you indulging in things that you love, achieving a goal that you have always wanted to achieve, that's already you being successful.
okay.
So yeah.
Let's say if you have a electronics engineering degree, okay.
Again, I
Okay. Okay, and then you start a business and you're successful
yeah.
in it. Do you consider yourself successful or not? Because you have an electrical engineering degree, but you're not
Yeah.
an engineer.
Of course, I consider myself successful if I'm getting in money and I'm doing something I love at the same time. I like Edwin said, I can be an electronics engineer yet also like put my feet in some other uh
Field.
fields that I want that are also related. I can do business. I can do business. Business is generally like you can do business if you want to. I can also become a software engineer if I wanted to. I can learn to be a programmer, or get into IT. So yeah, I think if it makes me happy and I'm like somewhat satisfied with it and I've reached my goal of that year, then I'd consider myself successful.
Okay, so you're saying someone is successful if they actually like achieve their goals. Okay,
Yeah.
with or without a degree.
Yes, yes. It doesn't matter if you have a degree or not. If you have reached your goal and you feel happy with yourself, then you're successful.
Okay. Okay, how about you, Edwin? What do you think? Do you need a
if
degree to be successful?
um, I personally don't think you need a degree to be successful because it all depends on, like I said, the person.
Mm,
So as for right now, it's if in terms of employability, you probably would need if your ranking of successfulness is landing a job in a good company, then you most probably would need the degree. But
mm,
that's also to be debated upon. But you can look at it this way: a person taking a 4 year or a 7 year degree, for that duration of 4 years, they are still studying and they're still learning, still going up their ranks. But at the
mm,
same time, a person that's not taking a degree, which the society would generally think, oh, they're a loser or something, they could be taking that 4 to 7 years building their own business. So in the end of the 4 to 7 years, we might graduate and get honors, or we can be a valedictorian. But
Okay.
the person who's not taking a degree and flourishing his business for 7 years might already have a a million ringgit company or something really successful. I mean, it's 7 years. It's quite a long time to cultivate something.
Hmm.
So my standards of being successful is if I've earned more than my parents. So so
yeah.
I think we Asians might be able to relate to that. So maybe that person, if he has the same views as me, the person doing his business for 7 years may already surpass his parents. So I don't. So
Okay.
my final result is, yeah.
Okay, say conclude your answer first.
So my conclusion is, I don't think you need a degree to be successful. Depends on the
Okay.
person.
Okay, so if you start working and your salary is not more than your parents, do you consider yourself successful? Because that's what you said just now. You said you're considering more salary than your parents' salary as successful?
Oh, well, that's true. But the difference is, your studies doesn't stop at bachelor's. There's still your own self research. There's still masters. There's still PhD. There are other like little certificates that can help build your career. So wait, so I don't think bachelor's is enough. But I've seen a few of my friends' parents who are very successful just with a bachelor's degree.
Okay, right. So you're saying you don't need the degree to be successful also?
No,
True.
yes, your certifications do not correlate directly with your income.
Yeah,
Okay,
it's all about
right.
money.
It's all about money.
Mine is being happy, and Edwin is just money, money, money.
AM
Okay,
to the
money,
PM, it's all about the
money,
RM.
The
RM.
grind.
Yes, money is king at the end of the day. Okay, so Avi, how about you? What do you think? What
Uh,
does a
I think
degree make you successful?
does a degree make you successful? If you actually wanted to do the degree and you get that degree, that is 100% your success.
Okay, let's say if you're forced to pursue that degree, okay, and you get a degree and you get a job, do you consider yourself successful,
Well,
even though you're forced?
I haven't actually been in that situation, so
Okay,
I
try
wouldn't
to
call
put
it.
yourself in that situation.
Yeah. So if I put myself in that situation, right? If it's something that I actually wanted, I would genuinely be happy. Like I would actually say that I'm on the same boat with Aisha in terms of success.
Mm.
Isn't only about financial success. No, that's one thing that a lot of people look up to, and it's but for me generally, you have to be happy. You can't have a lot of money and this one because I'm at one time when I was doing dropship, I was earning quite a lot for a student, to be honest. But to be honest, having a lot of cash in my pocket never actually made me happy. And till this day, I have already forgotten that Instagram for my dropship business. I totally like this one because honestly, I never enjoyed it at all.
Mm.
Because I never enjoyed it, even though I made some good cash, I don't consider it as something success rather than a failure
Mm.
because I genuinely never enjoyed the process. For me, it's more about you have to enjoy the process of getting a degree, and then if you get the degree and you genuinely be happy about it, that's
Okay,
more important than like actually getting my dream job or this one. If I want it, then if I get it, I'll be happy, and that's I consider success for me. But if let's say in terms of financials or whatever, I'm not actually into that stuff. No, that it's important. Having money is important.
Yeah.
I'm not saying money is not important.
Yeah, Abby, you
Only say
know.
very
money is not
important.
important if you're loaded and you have like billions stored somewhere. That's the only time the money is not
Stashed
important.
away in the secret account.
Offshore account.
Yes. If let's say you don't have money, money is very important. Just that
Okay,
it shouldn't be to a level that if you have money then you're successful, because at the end of the day wealthy people doesn't mean rich. Wealth is measured over time. Rich is how much money you have. If you have a billion ringgit, you spend 1 million every month, 10 months from now you're going to be broke.
1,000.
No,
1,000.
no, if you have a billion,
Oh,
right?
Are you
I just
sure you're
laughed.
an
I
engineer?
disagreed. I didn't count.
Yeah. So no. Okay, so if you have a billion ringgit, 10 months from now, if you spend 1 million every month, you
Oh,
you wouldn't
Okay,
have money left
10
on this
months.
one.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah, yeah.
it's measured over time. We don't see Jeff Bezos' net worth reducing. We always see it increasing because
Yeah,
he
yeah.
doesn't spend his money. That's the thing. So that is just a side note on wealth and general thing. If let's say you consider financial success, right? But other than that, it always comes down to you being generally happy.
Yeah.
If you're only 1K a month, then you're happiest. If you're happy, ah, if you're
Then you're
happy,
successful.
asterisk,
you're
asterisk.
successful. Oops. All right,
Okay,
I think that would be for me lah. Pretty much the same word with
okay,
Isha.
so Isha and Avi are saying that we need to be happy, and that's the success for you all. And Edwin
I,
is all about the money.
I think
Okay,
it's more like money just makes me happy.
money makes you happy.
Ah,
Okay,
right, right.
okay. So money is so you all about the money lah. So,
The
AM,
grind.
AM, it's all about the RM.
yes. I heard that somewhere. I have heard that somewhere. Okay, so we go to the next question. Okay, I need to ask you guys. This is a very important question. If you guys don't think you need a degree, what are other alternatives to a degree? Okay, we start with the guy who's drinking the water right now, Edwin.
Hold on, he's drinking water.
He's drinking water.
He's just pausing. He's, he's
Yes,
just drinking.
it's okay. Okay, what is your question?
Okay,
I was thinking.
What are other alternatives?
alternatives to a degree.
Oh, what are other
Yeah.
alternatives?
If you
All
don't
right.
pursue a degree, will you be working or like a diploma or something?
So how I was raised up is okay. This is I'm gonna give you a perspective of what I thought in the start and what I thought right now. When I was growing up, I thought that if you didn't have a degree, you basically like failed my parents. So you need a degree from my
Asian
parents.
boy. You're an
Yes,
Asian.
Exactly.
Asian.
Polytechnic is the same thing as diploma, I guess. I'm not sure, but polytechnic is you work 3 years, you study 3 years, and you can instantly work. So that's an alternative of degree, or you could start your own company. So like what I said in the start, instead of a degree, if you're confident enough, and if you're, I guess, confident enough, you could always take some money, take a loan from your parents or a bank. I don't think a bank, probably your parents or your friends, and you could use that money to start a business. As
Right.
compared to someone who's doing the degree for 4 to 7 years, with that 4 to 7 years, you could already be running a business and be and you could be more successful than your friends who's doing a degree and just starting out. Yes, exactly. In seven
Financial success.
years, yes, in 7 years, you'd probably with your business, you'd probably be earning more than your fresh graduate friends.
Mm.
Okay, so you're saying business is an alternative to you.
Yes, a
Okay, so
business.
let's say that business that doesn't run well. Then how?
Start again.
Then you see, you have 4 years on the minimum to
Yeah, okay,
start.
let's say 4 years later and it still doesn't run well, and your friends graduate and they have a actually like a good pay. How's it?
Okay, so let's take the average pay of a normal engineer. I think if a Malaysian fresh graduate, it's around 3K, 4K ringgit.
Ooh,
Uh,
around
Be
there.
less.
Yeah.
oh, was that overestimating? Well, damn.
Just a little. Just a-
Maybe 2K, 2000.
Oh, 2000. Oh, damn. Makes
Maybe.
my argument a bit easier. So, I have this friend. He did not take a degree, and he has his own. I won't call it restaurant. It's called a ghost kitchen. So how a ghost kitchen operates is there is no walk-in kitchen. There's no walk-in restaurant. You can only order it through Food Panda and online services basically.
Mm.
Per one meal, per one item you order, he profits 100%. So
Oh,
if you order a 10 ringgit bowl, that's on the low side. He already has 5 ringgit as profit. 5 ringgit. Yeah, 5 ringgit as profit because
I
five
see.
ringgit to make it, and then 5 ringgit markup to sell it to you. That's for
Mm.
his cheapest platter. For a more expensive, a 20 ringgit platter, it's even more profit for him, and just times that by the amount of things you sell is how much you earn. So 2,000 ringgit divided by 10 is only 200. So the
Mm.
more you sell, the more profits you earn, right?
Mhm.
And now you think about it, in your bachelor's degree, the amount of time you study does not correlate to how much more money you earn or in the job in the future. The more hours you put in, your salary is constant. But
Yeah.
once you own a restaurant business, the more hours you put in on marketing it or getting it out there, more orders will flow in and more money will come in.
Okay, so you're
So
saying business is an alternative to a degree,
yes, it's still a better
right?
alternative.
Right. So Edwin is all about the money.
AM, PM, all about RM.
Okay. Avinash, how about you? What's your alternative?
Alternative for a degree. Well, by definition, an alternative to a degree would be another certificate, like maybe a skill labor certificate.
Mm.
But in terms of practicality, right? In terms of practicality, like you would have to go into job scope. like how I defined jobs earlier, it's more of what you do. To be honest, um, you can just do any job you want. It doesn't have to be a business. You could. I have seen people who just you if you go to India, right? If you go to some of the ashrams is it's kind of a monastery. Yeah, people right there, they don't actually earn anything. Everything is based on volunteer, and money comes in from people who donate. And I would still say they're still happy. It's still something to do. It's still something that they spend their lives doing. It's kind of like their lives work. So at the end of the day, it's like what I said earlier. In terms of job, it's always happiness. Although money is important, but happiness before money.
So what's your alternative?
You want an alternative, is it? Okay, since
Yeah.
Edwin took business, I'm gonna shave my head bald, wear orange robes, go to Thailand, go to the monastery and pledge my
Avi.
loyalty to the head monk.
You could have the same views as me, Avi. It doesn't
Okay.
matter.
So you're saying inner peace is the alternative to a degree.
In
Let's go, inner
Inner
peace.
Okay, that's what I'm getting from you. Inner peace.
Yeah, let's go, inner peace.
Inner peace, okay? Alright. Okay, how about you, Aisha? What's your alternative?
Well,
Let's
I
hope
was
it's
gonna
not inner
say
peace.
I was gonna say business, but I think Edwin took that.
You can
I
have the
think
same views as me.
yeah, but like I'm trying to educate more. No.
Oh.
I'm just gonna tell you guys a story. This one thing that I actually never knew existed, or maybe I was being ignorant or something. It's called like apprenticeship. Okay, something like that. So
Apprenticeship.
so there was this one time uh when the Wi-Fi in my house just completely broke down for a month, and then after a whole month, the Maxis guy finally came to fix it, and I asked, and we were talking about while he was fixing it, I was asking him like, "Oh, do you work for Maxis like part time? Did you get a degree first before you work for them?" And then he's just like, "I'm actually under apprenticeship." So
Mhm.
basically, he signs up for it, goes through like some sort of test and all that, and he works while learning under them. Like,
Oh, okay.
yeah, it's actually a really like I feel like I wasn't really exposed on that kind of thing, but basically he said he after SPM he signed up for it, and it's been like his third fourth year right now. He's been working under Maxis while learning like the things that he needs to learn for someone to work in Maxis, but he's already under Maxis. So I think it's a good alternative to a degree if you want to skip all the theory and just go straight into practical, but still also have like knowledge, you know.
Apprenticeship.
Yeah, not inner
It's
peace or
inner
business
peace.
Not inner peace.
apprenticeship.
Okay. Okay, I think that's all we have for today. That's all the time we have for today.
Mm,
Okay, so I'm gonna wrap it up. So I'm gonna say overall, a college degree is kind of important, right?
kind
To
of,
a
yeah.
certain extent.
To a
Kind of
certain
important
extent,
to a certain
yes.
extent.
Yes,
Okay,
agreed.
all right. Okay, so I'm gonna wrap it up here. Okay, see you guys in the next episode of Teh Tarik Show, and thank you for tuning in. Bye bye.
Bye bye.
Bye.
Adios.